Hey everyone, Kevin Jarday. I wanted to give you guys kind of a heads up on what to look for in your own personal home if you have issues in your foundation. You know, we're in East Tennessee, and East Tennessee has most houses have cracks in their foundations. And we have home inspectors. Home inspectors they always refer to an engineer to take the monkey off their back. When in all reality, every house has a crack, right? So what we're looking for, we're doing cracks. We're looking for shifts, up and down, in and out, and or bowing. Okay, so that's the things that have to be fixed. A typical crack is not a big deal, but like on this house here, if you look at this one, this is a house we're actually fixing it. This one's a pretty big crack. All right, so you got a gap there about a good 1/4 inch, but it's been repaired several times. You see a patch job there, a patch job here, so it's been patched several times. So we're actually going to put a helical screw in this thing and fix it. And if you'll notice in this corner, there's another crack. Okay. So we're looking for multiple cracks. If there's one crack, there's got to be a second crack, and that's where a lot of people fail to look at to find. So I work with a lot of investors, and investors hire me to go out and look at their houses before they bid on them. A lot of times to make sure everything's good and foundation wise. It's a free inspection for them, but obviously I get to fix the house if they buy it. But I went on a house the other day in Maryville that they had 2 home inspectors on it and my competition out there, and they said there was no big deal on any cracks. Well, they didn't tell me I had 11 cracks in the foundation. That's an issue when you have that many cracks. 2 of the cracks had a good 1/4 inch gap on them. One was hidden behind one of the piers that you really couldn't see very well, and the other one was in plain sight, so I'm not sure how they missed that. But there's all kinds of ways of looking and figuring out. A lot of it's experience. If you don't know exactly what you have, hey, it's for free. Just have somebody come in and look at it. It's not going to charge you anything to look at. Now up here, this house here had a couple more cracks, and the lights blind me on that, so I really can't see much of them. But there was a crack here somewhere in this area, a pretty decent size. Oh, here it is. This crack here. Now that don't look like that big of a crack, but it's filled with caulk that's as wide as my finger. So in all reality, that crack is this wide. So when you're buying a house, you really need to know what you're looking for to be able to tell whether that's a serious crack or not. Okay, so what we're doing on this house down here, what we're doing on this house, we're actually repairing this house, and I'll show you how we're doing it. This particular home has, look how big that root is. When you have roots that close to your foundation, obviously you can't see that until you dig it out. When you have roots that big in your foundation, that's an issue, okay? But now here, they're still digging this one out. But look how they did the footer on this house. This footer has about 7 or 8 inches right here, which is all right from back then. Right here, we're only talking 2 or 3 inches. Well, no wonder it cracked, because you're sitting here on a weak point of the house. So we actually got to build a footer before we can even lift it to secure it. So this job's turned out to be a little more difficult in that way than we planned. Now remember, when you get an estimate on something that's unseen and you can't see, the person who's estimating can't tell what the quality of the house was built like and who built the house. We have builders that do it right. They put the 10 inches of footer. We got them to 8 inches of footer, and we got people like this that don't do hardly a footer at all. This is another corner. As you can see, we have about 1 inch of concrete on that, holding this house up. So we're going to fix all this, but it's not, obviously this is not your ideal, and this is more of a rare occasion than it is a common practice. Most people put a decent footer under your houses. If you're in your downtown areas where you have brick foundations and the house is 60, 70, 80 years old, those houses don't have any footer. They used to take asphalt without the tar in it, and they put a little bit down there and they pack it with their hand with a little packing machine, or not machine, hand pack it. Back then they didn't have machines. They packed that stuff and they put the brick down. It's lasted 100 years. Okay, a lot of stuff's lasting 60, 70, 80, 100 years, but there's a lot of major foundation issues with that. I had a call with a client I'm going to go look at today or tomorrow. I think tomorrow. Her house is 60 years old, but it's built on block, and she said on big rocks. And she said, well, my house is falling in. I said, no, it's not. That's not what's happening. She said 10 or 11 people out there telling her all these different things, and I haven't been out there to see it yet. But what people don't understand is when you build a house on a rock, that's living. That rock is living. It's always growing. It grows so slow you really can't tell. So actually the house is actually lifting over the rock and sinking on where the rock's not, making it appear like the house is sinking when it's actually the rock is growing. So that's going to be extremely expensive for this person, but they love the house, so they don't mind spending money, and it's on the lake. So anyway, hope this is educational for you. If you'd like this, please tag it with you and your friends that may need it, and then share it on your Facebook, your Instagram, YouTube, whatever you got to do. And if you don't mind subscribing to my YouTube page, I'd appreciate that too. You can find us at instadri.com, and we will be happy to take care of your issues. Thank you, Kevin Jardé.